rebel, a challenger, a risk taker, the one who believes in the power of the underdog, blazing his own trail, refusing to conform, daring to be great.
No mercy for you guys, man. Let's go together. 1, 2, 3, together.
Doncic as he loses one into Lively. Washington.
Dancing, prancing, pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Domination by the Mavericks.
Each chapter brings new challenges. We've defied expectations, shattered records, and redefined what it means to play for this city. This time, everything is up for grabs, and we always gonna stand on business.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you, Derek?
Oh, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Good, man. Good, man.
Good to be back. Internet better?
Yeah, I'm back. Internet's good. We're good to go tonight, man. It's been a fun last 2 days, man. We started softball practice, and
Y'all practicing close to home or
my backyard, literally.
okay. Oh, that's
I
right.
mean,
That's right. Yeah.
It's like there's like my house, there's woods, and then the practice field. If I could clear a path in my woods, I would walk every time. But unfortunately, I don't walk. So, man, we got a fun show, man. Some good stuff to talk about. We got some basketball, NFL stuff, some NFL news, some stuff that's been coming out, and then just basketball stuff in our new segment, of course. Our poll. I'm assuming you had the results on that.
Yeah, I just have to go back and look at it. I think it was pretty much one-sided.
It is one-sided, but I mean, there's only.
I will say this: I did not vote this week.
I had to vote. There's no way I don't vote. That's my player, so I'm going to vote.
The only reason I didn't vote is I think it was too close. I mean, I think you could make an argument for either one.
You could. I agree. It's closer than what you think, and there's reasons why it's closer than what you think, but I think there's one thing that makes one better than the other overall, and I think we'll talk about it. Let's just start off with that.
Let's just jump right into that.
Let's just jump into it. So the poll was, better power forward, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. I mean, it's really hard. It's hard to pick because you have one person that, Kevin Garnett, that was great everywhere he played. Minnesota, the Celtics. He even played with Brooklyn for 2 seconds.
I think that hurt. That hurt his. It didn't hurt his career, but it kind of hurt. I understand he was traded, like that was a trade, not like he wanted to do that. But at some point, you just gotta put it like I'm done. You know what I mean? Like I think Carmelo hurt himself going from New York to Atlanta, from Atlanta to OKC to Portland to LA. Like at some point, just stop chasing it and let it go.
Right.
So I know Timmy is your guy, the Spurs guy, and so I'll let you kind of finish it. So
yeah, I mean, so
my take
Where
on it was, I think so. You never know what a player is going to be like if they're somewhere else. If Tim Duncan was in Charlotte, would he be Tim Duncan? I think he would be great, right? I don't think he would be the greatest power forward of all time if he was in Charlotte because of the organization. So I think his organization and where he fell, mentoring under or being mentored by David Robinson, Bruce Bowen, and Pop, of course, and then you fall in there with what's up, Rocky? How's it going, brother? And then you fall in there with Ginobili and Parker and Leonard, and I mean, it was just perfect. It was perfect. Kevin Garnett had to earn his stripes. He came straight out of high school. He went to Minnesota. And one thing I like about Kevin Garnett, and I've always liked this, and it's one of the problems that I have with athletes. Kevin Garnett was who Kevin Garnett was from the moment he was drafted until the moment he retired. He was that mouthy, just dog. Like you look at like Steph Curry. When Steph Curry came into the league, he would shoot a three, make it, go down to the other end. Now he wants to shimmy and shake and look out in the crowd before the ball goes in. Like, be who you are. Don't change because you're getting a little bit more attention and you're getting more people watching you type stuff. And that's what I like about Kevin Garnett. And Timmy never changed. Timmy was always Timmy. He I think defensively, I would take Kevin Garnett over Tim Duncan. Now, Tim Duncan's a great defensive player. I mean, he's great. He's the greatest power forward to ever live. So it's hard to say he's not good at something. But I think Kevin Garnett drug Minnesota to the playoffs. Every time they went. I mean, he had Stephon Marbury, Latrell Sprewell. I mean, he had some players, but nothing like Tim Duncan had.
No, not in Minnesota for sure.
Not in Minnesota for sure. Now Boston was a whole different story. I mean, he had Ray Allen, he had Rondo, he had Pierce, he had Tony Allen. I mean, he had the list goes on. But offensively, while his mid range was probably unmatched for a post, I would put him and LaMarcus Aldridge kind of in the same category as far as like mid range. They're both great mid range scorers. The guy on the block. Timmy was going to get your garbage points. I mean your rebounds, your putbacks, the bank shots. That's kind of what Timmy was, and he was great at it. Man, he was unbelievable. So that's why I didn't vote, because while I lean one way for Timmy, I lean one way for KG. You can make an argument for either one. I've got a buddy who is a massive Kevin Garnett fan. He voted on the poll. Just like you, Timmy's your guy. KG is his guy. I mean, he had the jersey back in high school and everything. I love both of them. I mean, I love both of them.
Yeah, I mean, to they were different players too. Even though they played the same position, they were, like you said, Kevin Garnett was a mid-range, ferocious. Not that Tim Duncan but Kevin Garnett was looking to kill you. Timmy was out to outwork you.
Yes.
And
I agree, Brandon.
Tim Duncan's footwork is some of the best I've ever seen from a big man. Still to this day, his footwork was something he wasn't as athletic as he looks either. He was athletic, but he wasn't as athletic as Kevin Garnett. I mean, I think anyone would say that.
I agree.
I think what separates them is, in my opinion, is all it is just Timmy has 5, KG has what, 1?
Yep.
Probably the separation between them. And Timmy is we'll never see another guy like that. If we do, it's going to be a while. I mean, we don't see big men like either one of these anymore. We just don't.
Everybody wants to shoot threes.
Like Tim Duncan, I remember him talking about if he ever shot a 3, he always got yelled at because it just wasn't his game. Even but you just see KG, big power forwards and centers didn't shoot 3s like that. That was not the game.
Yes, he was. He did. He put them on the map.
He did. They were irrelevant before he got there.
And see, I don't think if you was to switch them, if KG comes to San Antonio and Duncan goes to Minnesota, I don't think KG works in Minnesota at all, especially as a 17, 18, 19-year-old college or high school kid coming right out, because they are too structured in San Antonio. San Antonio is XYZ, ABC. That's how we run the game. That's how we do this. Now, could he have scored for him? Could he have played for him? Absolutely. But I think after probably 3 years, he's leaving. He's going to sign somewhere else, because in Minnesota, he had freedom. I mean, he was get KG the ball and kind of, back up. He was the number one option. In San Antonio, I think everybody's the number one option, because that's the team. That's the team
bench
ball.
Players, even the bench players.
Yes, absolutely.
I was watching something today. Actually, it was Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and it's kind of, it's not really leaning towards Timmy. It was more about Manu. How, in their opinion, he was one of the ferocious, skilled players I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had that conversation about Manu, and it was Manu and Ray Allen. And every player that's ever played at San Antonio and stayed long term, I'm talking about, like, well, first of all, we don't get that tenure anymore, right? Like, if you name one person, if I can name one person right now in the league that's going to stay on a team from here on out, I really believe it's Wemby. I think everybody else is out there. Wemby, he was meant to be in San Antonio. As crazy as that sounds, you can say they got lucky in the draft. They got the number one pick. But I've seen pictures of him and videos of him in the Spurs. Oh, yeah. But Brandon, that speaks to what Derek said, is they were structured. You're going to do what Pop says. And I know, like, that sounds crazy because these are athletes and they're really good. But look what happened with them. Right? Some people aren't made to play in San Antonio. Even to this day, they're still structured that way. Like, they try to find – they don't want to go shopping. They got De'Aaron Fox because he wanted to come there. He wanted to be in San Antonio. It's not like they went and said, "Oh well." I mean, there was Trae Young. There was other players out there. When someone wants to come to San Antonio, they do jump on those players. If they're serious about coming here, they're going to go get them. And that's where Tim Duncan fell in the lap of San Antonio. He was from Wake Forest, from the Virgin Islands. Nobody knew who he was, but you go look at his Wake Forest video. His videos from Wake Forest.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you say it, unbelievable. And he wouldn't even. I don't think anyone was looking at him like the Spurs were. And like you said, if he doesn't go to San Antonio, where would he end up? Who knows, really? I mean, he may have never even got drafted in the first round because he wasn't on the map like that. Derek, like I told you, that organization reminds me of the Patriots. They go find those unknown guys, and San Antonio always does that. Stephon Castle. Nobody expected him to be in San Antonio. They were going to draft Rob Dillingham.
They drafted Rob and traded.
They traded him to Minnesota.
You know who else they did that with? Kawhi Leonard.
They did that with Kawhi Leonard.
They somebody else drafted him. They wanted him. They went and got him. They did what they had to do to get. You bring up the comparison of San Antonio and New England. I'm going to go you one better.
Okay.
It's San Antonio and Alabama. It was Nick Saban's way. Now, Belichick ran his program, and I get that.
Right.
It was Nick Saban was a god at Alabama. Let's not. And the reason that there's only one video that pops into my mind. They are up 56-3. I want to say it's against Louisiana Monroe. I could be wrong on the team. There's like 6 seconds left in the game. And they got into the wrong defense. And Nick Saban comes off the sideline screaming. They don't get in the right defense. And he calls a timeout with 6 seconds left, up 50, because they're not doing the fundamental stuff right. And when they messed up, dude, he met the player out there on the field and just got in him all the way to the sideline. Up 50 with 6 seconds left. That's who the Spurs remind me of. Like, that is that is pop. Like, and now he doesn't have to take it to that extreme.
But he does though.
But he can. He can. But everybody knows coming in, like you said, De'Aaron Fox wanted to come. De'Aaron Fox wanted to come to San Antonio because of the organization. Yeah, Wemby's there. Yeah, Pop's there. But it's a culture thing. It's a culture there. And that's what you don't see anymore. Like, I'm going back to Charlotte. They're just fresh on my mind. Charlotte is just, I mean, it's just kind of do what you want. Like, if you watch the game, like, it's Melo Ball kind of running around. He might pass it to Miller. If not, he's going to jack up a sideways three from 30 feet out. The Twin Towers. That's right.
Oh yeah. Oh, they work.
But
could you imagine if Duncan and Robinson had more years together? What they really could. I think they could have. I think Timmy could have. They both could have one more. If Robinson could have played another couple years with Manu and Parker, like the deeper they got better, because you got to remember, it was Tim Duncan. Literally the next year, it was Parker. Literally the next year, it was Manu. Like,
oh yeah,
they just kept getting better. And again, no one was watching Parker. No one was watching Ginobili, but the Spurs were. But it's not even just those players. Go and look at everyone that's ever been on that team. They've had Michael Finley. They've had Bruce Bowen. They've had Avery Johnson. They've had Rick Barry. They've had Brent. They've had all these players that, like, you have to go way back to look and, like, why did they play there? It's a cult. You said it perfect, Derek. It's a culture thing. Even to this day, it's a culture thing.
Let me ask you this, and this is another thing that I like about it. Do you know who the owners of the Spurs are?
Well,
that's my point. That's my point.
I don't know. And I've been a fan
point right there
for 23 years, and I couldn't tell you the owners, but I can tell you who runs that place.
That's the point. But you can tell me who runs it. His name is Greg.
Yeah, but Greg Popovich, yes, and then R.C. Buford. But other than that, I can't
they hired them to do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, they hired them to run the team, to make the decisions, and they got the crap out of the way. They're not like Jerry Jones, where he wants to be this and handpick a coach that you can do like a little puppet with. Like, let them do their job, and it's worked for them.
You don't even see R.C. Buford, or I can't think of the GM. His name, the one that drafted or that got Fox here. He's younger. He's been over there a little bit. He's been there a little bit, but not like entirely too long. You don't see them at the games like you saw Nico last night at the game.
Yeah,
he was just there. He was just there to taunt. That's all he was.
That's it.
You don't. I think I've seen R.C. Buford on TV maybe 5 times, and I've literally been watching San Antonio for 23 years. I'm not kidding you. And I've seen him on TV a handful of times because they don't care. They let them do their job, and that's the problem with. And they still let them do it, even as bad as they look right now. Back-to-back losses to Pelicans, and dude, I'm in San Antonio Spurs Facebook pages, and they are illiterate right now. They are talking bad about the team, and I keep telling them, y'all, chill. In 5 years, San Antonio will win another one. Just be patient. It's gonna come. Like, unfortunate things have happened this year, right? And we'll talk more about things that have happened here after we do this. But I love KG. I love Timmy. I got to pick Timmy because I think what separates them is just the championships, and that's about it in my opinion.
I'm gonna give a little hot take real quick, completely off subject. You brought up Garnett and Paul Pierce. We're talking. Paul Pierce is highly overrated in my book. I'm talking highly.
I've said this about somebody else, and I can't remember who it was.
I don't even know if I'd put him as a top 10 Celtic of all time. Just off the top of my head.
It's hard because the Celtics have the most championships in history.
Well, it's not even because of that. It's because I don't think what did he do? Now, and you can say this about anybody, but what did he do prior to Garnett and Ray Allen and Rondo getting there? Nothing. He really didn't have. He scored. He scored. He was an all-star, and he scored. But even to me, he was the third option on the team. Garnett or Ray Allen were 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it. And then it was Pierce. Like, could you imagine this being my team and we bring in guys and I went from the guy to the third guy? That would be nuts. That would be nuts. That's like if when Kevin Love went to Cleveland with Kyrie and LeBron became a third option. Like, that would be nuts. I would put him probably in between 8 and 12 if I just really sat down and put pen to paper. At best.
I mean, there's been a lot of greats that have came through the Celtics. I mean, seriously, a lot. I mean, it's hard to put him up there in that top 10 because of the greats that have came through there. I mean, it's hard. Now, did he help them win a championship? Of course he did. You can't knock that.
Yeah,
but they won one. That's my separation here. Listen, Kevin Garnett was phenomenal, but I've always been about loyalty. We've talked about 100%. Loyalty to a team. When you're a true Spurs, you're loyal. Now, I hate again, the Kawhi Leonard situation, that was on San Antonio, and I'll admit that. How they treated that was not okay. But I look at it now as if that never happens, do we have what we have now? Do we have Wemby? Do we have that? Do they stay relevant to the point to where they could stay afloat? Probably so. And so, therefore, I don't think you land the Wembys. I don't think you land the Stephon Castles. You don't land these players because Kawhi could have kept that team going. I mean, if he would have stayed healthy, obviously, which he hasn't done. But, yeah, it's Jimmy for me.
Pierce had a prime of 7 years. 25 points, 26, 25, 23, 21, 26, and 25. From 2000 to 2007. That was his prime. That's it. I mean, now 7 years is still 7 years. I mean, he still averaged above 15 for every year except for his last 3. Finished with 19.7 as a average. Mm-hmm. But, man, I just – a lot of people are going to – I'll catch flack for that. I guarantee you I will. But, man, I just – he's not that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Great poll. Derek, I woke up and I saw Derek's like, who are we talking about tonight on the poll? And I was like, oh my God. I was gonna do Duncan and Nowitzki just because like a Dallas player.
Yeah.
And that kind of would have been about the same. I feel like it would have been close because what he did, but I like the Garnett player.
I will tell you this. You saved yourself on that one because you went for Garnett. Had you went for Dirk, you'd have been going up against the greatest finals run in NBA history.
Oh, I don't disagree with
all them prime guys he beat. The defending champion Lakers swept them. The big three at OKC 3-1. Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge beat them. Like, oh man.
Yeah. No, that it would have been close, but I would still.
I still would have gave it to Duncan, but
Nowitzki was still another beast, and I want to get him. I do want to get him on a poll. I want to find someone really good to put him beside because I think there's definitely people that would make it a good poll. So we'll figure that out, and maybe we'll do the next one on that. But let's run our main sponsor tonight, and then we're going to hop into some. Well, I guess you could say a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything, yeah. Let's say a little bit of everything.
Heinz 57 and that. Get a little bit of everything.
yeah.
So,
all right.
Real quick, I meant to tell you this yesterday. I don't know if you saw the number 22 ranked team in the nation. Okay, their name is. Make sure I get it right. And I'm talking high school ball here. It is Mansfield Lake Ridge. Okay, right up the road here in Dallas. The number 22 ranked team in the nation forfeited their state semifinal or regional semifinal game because of an ineligible player. The team
Why did
they
they
were going
forfeit?
They had an ineligible player. The game that they won the previous week, the ineligible player played. They didn't find that out to the day they were playing, and so the team that they were playing, Flower Mound, automatically advanced to the regional final. All they got to do is win Friday, and they go to state. That sucks.
Wow.
That sucks.
Yeah. That
sucks.
does suck. That sucks, man. I hate that for people. I mean, they did the right thing, though, because it would have got caught, and even if they would have won state, it would have been taken away from them. That happened to Duncanville. That happened to Duncanville
Yes.
a few years ago.
They sure did.
Playing. They won state, and it got pulled from them.
Because they thought they were going to maneuver around it.
So, kudos to that school for doing that by taking the right steps, because now what they did up until that point doesn't get taken away from them.
I know it sucks,
but it's the right move.
Yeah.
The right thing to do.
I hate that for the seniors. You know what I mean?
Of course you do. Yeah, you hate it, but it's the right move. You can't, because what they'll do is they'll if I'm right, Duncanville couldn't even go to the playoffs the next year or two.
Mm-hmm.
So their seasons were almost pointless. You could win, go undefeated, you don't play the playoffs. You have to forfeit that first playoff game
automatically.
Yep. So let's talk about this. I know we're a little late. I know we were going to talk about it Sunday, but obviously my internet issues kind of pondered us from talking about it. What do you think about the Mavericks? They announced that they will ban fans from wearing Luka jerseys at the games. What are your thoughts on that? How do you ban people?
Let me see here. Do you see my background?
Yes, it's a trash can on fire.
It's a dumpster fire, and that's what the Mavericks organization is. I told you. The trade was amazing for both teams. I think the win now for the Mavericks, if AD's healthy, if any of the centers are healthy, it's perfect. The Lakers obviously get Luka. Is it a rental? Is he going to re-sign there? Who knows? I've said it on here before, a lot of reports come out that he loves Pat Riley. He loves Miami. If he wants to smoke the hookah and drink beer, that'd be an ideal spot for him. Really. I think they moved Jimmy Butler to free up the cap space as well. Jimmy was frustrated and wanted to get out, but all the reports are that the Mavericks ownership wants the Dallas County and Dallas and all that to pass a bill for a casino. If they don't, they're going to trash the Mavericks and move them to Las Vegas, because I think 2 or 3 years Vegas is supposed to be getting an expansion team, and that's where the owners want to be because they're big into casino stuff. The more that I'm listening to this garbage, that's what it is. It's no 77 jerseys at the stadium. We traded Luka because he was overweight. Now we're trading Luka because of his drinking and his smoking. I think they just screwed up, and they didn't know how much of an impact this was going to make. And the more that the stories come out and all this and that, I'm so close to just being done with them. I'm like I told you, you got the split background here. I said, hey, you might well just take that off, because I'm so close to being done with them that it's unreal. But that's all. They took away his he had, I'm not gonna call it a shrine. but he had like a little glass walker out in like the foyer with like a game ball when he scored 65 or whatever it was, the franchise record. They done took that down. They done got rid of it. I mean, everything. Then they edited him out during the like hype video. They put like the Mavericks logo where his face was. It's just pathetic. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, Spurs, baby, Spurs. Like that's where I'm at. The more I talk about it, like, I just feel myself getting worked up.
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay, what he did for the last 6 years for the Mavericks is phenomenal. Still, you can listen. If all these reports of him smoking hookah and drinking beer, he was still giving you 30. So what are you complaining about?
Exactly.
Well, let's just be real about it. I say this because I used to watch a lot of I can't remember the podcast name, but it was with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they used to smoke weed in the locker room, and it was never an issue.
Yeah.
Right? I understand times are different. So what's different for them playing basketball, hiring a kite, than Luka drinking maybe a beer after a game and smoking a little hookah?
One beer before the game and one beer after the game. That was his regimen. That's what he did.
And he's giving you 30.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not saying that's ideal. Should he be doing that? No. But he's trying to be a young adult still. People think because you're an athlete, you're not allowed to live your life. Yes, you have to be a little bit more reserved, of course, because all cameras and eyes are always going to be on you. I mean, and this makes me, when I talk about that, I always think about Manziel. All eyes are always on him. And he didn't care, though. He was going to be who he was going to be. Now, obviously, it didn't work out for him, but now I watch his podcast. I think it's a great podcast. He's doing good for himself.
Yeah.
Did it end his career? Of course it did. A lot of things ended his career, but to say you can't wear this jersey into there, you'll get banned from the game. Like, for one, we give you our money to come to these games, and supposedly you're all about money. I think they trade Luka. I've already told you this. I think they trade Luka just because of the money. They want to spend that money elsewhere for their quote unquote casinos.
Mm-hmm.
They're hoping to invest all their money into getting this done. And like I told y'all, here in a few years, it's going to be called the Las Vegas Pythons, the little snakes. You call Dallas Mavericks little snake organization. Well, they're going to be called the Las Vegas Pythons.
I don't. I know you weren't on here Sunday, and I said it Sunday. So kind of transitioning over to Wemby, with him being out, Jaren Jackson out of Memphis.
Do not give me. Don't get me started. I had a conversation with somebody about this the other day on Facebook.
So he's the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, which will allow him to get the Supermax.
Did you see that Supermax? It's
$345 million. Okay,
he ain't worth half of it, man.
But listen, this is where it gets interesting. That's the same amount of money Dallas didn't want to pay Luka. Now imagine that. Imagine Jaren Jackson, a 10-10 guy, getting $345 million, and a 30-10-9 guy. You don't want to pay that for him. Do you understand? Do you understand why that there's the dumpster fire right there on my screen? That's the organization. Let me tell you who is a better front office right now. The Dallas Cowboys have a better front office than the Mavericks. Better ownership, better front office than the Mavericks. And you know what I think about the Dallas Cowboys front office? That right there. The same thing. But at least they're trying to put it out. Mm-hmm. The Mavericks aren't, dude. The Mavericks are atrocious. Again, the more I talk about, by the end of this show, I might be a Spurs fan. I'm going to tell you right now because I'm getting worked up talking about this raggedy team.
Well, let's talk about Wemby here. Obviously, he's out. He has a deep vein thrombosis, which is pretty much a blood clot in his shoulder. Out for the year. People are upset. People don't understand. People think they're just tanking. I just want to say this: they're not purposely tanking. That's not the purpose. It's a serious injury. Brandon Ingram had the same exact injury a couple seasons ago. He came back fine. And people are like, well, look what happened to Chris Bosh. Well, Chris Bosh's, his were in his legs. It's a little bit different when they're in your legs. I mean, you run.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they shut him down. I hate it because I feel like we were making our way towards the play-in. I hate it, but it is what it is. I mean,
but now you're making your way in for the play-in for Cooper Flag. So either way, you were making the play-in.
Well, their odds have gone up so far to like 3% of getting the top 3 pick. I mean,
they have 2 top picks. Am I correct?
Well, they have their own, and then they have that Atlanta pick. So we need. I know Brandon's not going to want to hear this, but I need Atlanta just to continue to lose because the pick gets better.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if the Spurs get the first and second pick, even the first and third pick, I'm going to tell you what I would do. At small forward, I would take Ace Bailey out of Rutgers. At power forward, I would take Cooper Flag, and I would sign them to supermax contracts as soon as I drafted them. I'd do like freaking the Dodgers did Ohtani. 9 years, $12 trillion. Everything's on the back end. We're going to pay you $1 million a year until you retire, and then we'll just pay you the rest out. And I would have Wemby at your 5, and I would have De'Aaron Fox. Hey, have you seen Ace Bailey play? Have you seen any Rutgers games?
No, I have not.
He is as good, if not a little better than Cooper Flag. He's like he's almost like a Kevin Durant type player. He's kind of tall, a little skinny, but dude, he is unbelievable at Rutgers. He was the number 2 player in the nation last year behind Cooper Flag.
I want to say this about Cooper Flag: if San Antonio finds a way to get up in that top position, the West better be ready next year.
Oh,
that's
for sure.
Say. And then if they get another top 5 pick within that between those 2 picks, if they get top, this draft class is actually loaded. But I'm not even looking forward to this one. There's a player, I cannot think of his name. He was on ESPN. He was on the First Take show, him and his dad. And they were talking to him about like, hey, I forgot where he signed to. I have to go back. Yes, that kid.
Yeah.
He was talking about like, hey, where would you want to play? He said, I'd love to play in San Antonio.
Yep.
When I hear someone say they want to play in San Antonio, I say this all the time. They go and get him. LaMarcus Aldridge, he wanted to come play in San Antonio. Spurs got him. When you come out and you say you want to play for the Spurs, they will find a way to get you. They will. They do it. San Antonio has, as bad as I don't want them to do this, I want them to continue to lose because I do want a good pick next year, multiple good picks.
The only thing bad about the BYU kid, I don't know if you know the whole story right there.
I don't know a lot about him.
So he got a massive NIL deal. You're the number 1 player in the nation, and you're going to BYU. So BYU is obviously in Utah. Utah Jazz, they're like 9% owner is a BYU alum, and he is a 2 or 3 multi-millionaire. I mean, massively loaded, and he is their biggest donor at BYU. So his NIL money went to get that number 1 player, and they're already talking about possibly tanking next season
to get him.
Since he'll be right there at home.
Yeah.
Now, they could come out and win the championship next year, and it screw it all up. But that was the reports of all that.
Yep. Well, I think Wemby's going to be fine. The Spurs are going to, again, he's at one of the best organizations to ever have an organization in basketball. He'll get healthy. I think he'll be back strong next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wemby is going to put some weight on now that he's off. I expect Wemby to look a little different next year.
I think he's going to gain 20 pounds.
He already gained 20 pounds this year. He's going to gain another 20.
Yeah.
Good luck, NBA. You could be looking at your he's going to – I want to say this about that defensive player thing. The guy I was talking to, he was a Grizzlies fan. I didn't know this when we were talking. He kind of came out and said, yeah, this is my team. And I told him, I said, I understand the rules. I understand why it's happening. I said, but like Wemby has more blocks than the second closest guy to him. With him being out, still ain't going to catch him. Not even going to get close to him. I know it's not just about blocks, but he was going to be the clear-cut defense player of the year. He was probably going to get all NBA first team, probably for sure defense. He gets nothing now. I hate that because I know it's not fair, but there's rules, and it's just how it is. So it's almost like a year stripped from him for something that it sucks it happened, but I mean it is what it is. But I hate that for him because I think
wish all not stats, all awards were done better. I don't think they're like say this year's MVP race. It's a 2-man race. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, it's probably I would say Shea and probably Jokic.
Shea and Jokic. Okay, yeah. I think there's 2 points difference in their points per game, but Jokic has like 4 more assists per game and like 9 more rebounds per game. To me, give me the guy with more assists, more rebounds, and 2 less points. There's not a big difference between 10 and 12 points. No. There's a big difference between 13 assists and 9 assists.
He's a big man.
And he's a big man. That's what I'm saying. Now, OKC is number 1 in the NBA. In the West, and he was probably going to win it. Well deserved. I love that for him. But like, Jokic is the best player in basketball. Period. Why isn't he going to get like? I don't know. They need to do it better somehow.
I agree. Let's talk about the Pop situation. He's done for the year.
Oh man.
Back in November he had a mild stroke.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something funny today. I was reading something that they were talking about how he's been communicating with everyone. He's been in really big communication with the Wemby more here lately, but he's been in communication with Mitch Johnson, the interim head coach. Which I'm gonna say this. I'll talk about that in a minute because I'm gonna give Pop his respects. I'm going to. You see his statistics here. All-time leader in wins, 5-time champion, 1-time Olympic gold, 3 times coach of the year, 17-time coach of the month. Took Spurs 22 straight years to the playoffs. In my opinion, best coach to ever do it. He's still doing it.
I 100% agree with that.
But I do think it literally almost upsets me in a way. He's done. Okay, there's as much as Pop loves this game, he loves this organization, he loves this team. I think he is at his point in his life where he's got to care about his health. A couple of years back, he lost his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think he's kind of going to end it here. I don't think he wants to because I think he realizes what he has now and what he could get this offseason. But he doesn't have a choice with his health. I think his health is going to be more important. The stroke is something you don't play with. Yeah, he's been out the whole year. And then I'm going to switch sides to Mitch Johnson. I think he's a good young coach, but he's not ready for a team. I would have rather seen Brent Brown take this over, or even Mike, or even Brent Brown, or Mike. Is it Mike Brown?
Mike Brown.
He's on that coaching staff too. Why is Mitch Johnson the interim coach? I think that if we would have had one of those other ones, I think we're in a better position still now to get better, to win, to play in. Pop's in his ear, but Pop's from afar. Pop isn't going to stress. So it's all on Mitch Johnson and that coaching staff. Yeah, those other 2 are there. But I hate this for Pop because, Pop's my guy, man. Like, I don't want to see him go, but I don't expect him back. I personally don't. And I've been hearing everyone saying they should let Sean Elliott coach. Sean Elliott, they've already offered him a position multiple years. Sean Elliott, nah. I'm just going to keep commentating for the Spurs like he's been doing for years. He's not coming to coach. So people give it up. Here, Avery Johnson. Nah. Yeah, ex-Spurs, but nah. It just, listen, you got to have an experienced coach take over a young team. Avery Johnson, yeah, he coached a little bit in college, Alabama. I think he coach the Mavericks a little bit, if I'm wrong.
Coached the Mavericks?
Like, we need an experienced coach.
Are you ready for this?
No, I'm not ready for any of it.
Hot take.
I was going to ask you before I kind of give you a few coaches I have in mind that I think should take over or come in. But I want to ask you who can replace Pop and then somewhat not miss too much of a beat going into a next year where they're supposed to beat a really good competitive West team, I think, next year.
So this is what's going to happen. Pop is going to not retire. Okay? He's not going to be the head coach, but he's not going to retire. He's going to either slide one seat to the left, slide one seat to the back, and be in somebody's ear. Okay? Who used to be on the staff that Pop loves, and they love Pop?
Well, I mean, are we talking about an ex-player here?
Yeah, we could say ex-player.
Okay, well, because you say it like that, I don't know who you're talking about. Because I had someone else in mind that technically was on the coaching staff for a little bit after he retired. I was going to say Duncan, but I think I'm shooting for something kind of crazy there.
I'm even crazier than that. We're fixing to break barriers.
Okay,
Becky Ham.
So I had a thought you might say that
because she learned under Pop. You see what she did with Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason I think Pop doesn't leave. Because I think if he was just to up and leave, I think the team would kind of be like, oh, well, this is a woman coach. You know, yeah, she's still coach, but that's a woman coach kind of thing. But with Pop still there and still around it, not coaching, not stressing, but still giving his input, her still being able to ask him them questions, I think that transition period right there, half a year, 2 years, something like that, Wemby gets a little older, Flag gets a little older, or whoever they get. Whoever they get gets a little older. I think it's the same organization with a little bit of growing pains, but I think it's the same organization, and I think she can thrive in that. And that's what we talked about Duncan. It's what if she goes to Atlanta, she's ran out in a year and a half because no one's going to if she goes to LA, same thing. If she goes to Boston, same thing. Mm-hmm. But San Antonio is a culture and is it is a foundation of how to run an organization through all sports. I'm not talking about just basketball, through all sports. Mm-hmm. And I think she would gladly take that if Pop stayed on. Like if Pop was just going to up and retire and the year after he'll come back as like a special advisor or something, she wouldn't do it. But to know Pop is like right there to where she could say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or hey, what are you thinking? Something like that. I think she would jump on that in a heartbeat. Plus, the Aces split up. I mean, Kelsey Plum left. They brought in a bunch of not no-name girls, but they brought in a bunch of people that aren't champions. Mm-hmm. You still got Asia Wilson, but how much longer does she got? So I think it's a perfect opportunity for Ham, where the Aces are at right now. A perfect opportunity for the Spurs, where Pop is right now, to make that marriage and to break barriers.
So, if a lot of people don't know this, so obviously Becky Hammond was the assistant head coach when she was on that staff.
Yes, she was.
She was the coach of the G League, and if you go look, the coach of the G League. She coached the Summer League. They won multiple Summer League championships.
They did.
So she is very familiar with this with the Spurs organization. She was a Spur in a sense because she played for the WNBA affiliate when they were.
I forgot all about that.
She was their point guard, and as soon as she retired, Pop brought her on instantly. Their relationship is they're not like best friends. They're like brother and sister type. Like they're like family. They really are. And I had 4 names in mind, and that was one of them.
Nice.
And it was one of them. It really was because I already know that relationship. And like you said, yeah, she just signed an extension, but who cares? Like for her to come and be a head coach,
Spurs could buy it out.
Oh yeah, they would buy it out. And to break the barrier, to do something that's never been done, and to do it in San Antonio, it would be no one would.
That's the organization to do it,
right? So I had Becky Hammond in mind. I had Brent Brown. He's already on the organization. He's been in that organization for a long time, even though he took a stint in the 76ers. But when he left there, he took a year off and came back. You have Mike Brown, which he's coached some good teams. He can coach, and this is another one that I think he has been snubbed of getting back into coaching, that I wouldn't mind coming here outside of the organization. Actually, there's I'm gonna give you a 5th one too. I'm gonna give you another one. Gonna call me crazy is Stan Van Gundy. He's out there. I've heard he's want to get back into coaching. He's not my favorite option, but I wouldn't mind him. And this one, my 5th one, is the one that I think that no one's going to think about, and I actually wouldn't mind this one either. Mark Jackson. He's been trying to get back into coaching. He made the Warriors before he built that team, and Kerr took it over. We've got to give him props. When he was,
I agree.
He did. Those are kind of the 5 guys I'm looking at coming here. The 4 guys and 1 woman. But if I have to pick one, I honestly think I'm going with Becky Hammond. Break the barrier.
I'm going to tell you the coaching staff that she needs to put together. She needs to have Avery Johnson.
I agree with that.
She needs to have Mike Brown, and somehow she needs to have Sean Elliott. Because
Sean Elliott's not going to do it. He has
made
that very clear.
I know, but as just some kind of special advisor on the bench, there's somebody on the bench that played on that team in that organization, just like Avery Johnson, and then have Pop right behind you, right to your right, whatever, because those 3 guys would follow a woman head coach.
I'll tell you what, though,
they would be.
I think
perfect.
everyone is thinking, well, Becky Hammond, they won't respect her. That's one organization that those players will respect her
100%.
because of Pop and what she has done for that organization in the past. She coached Keldon Johnson. She coached those younger guys that have been there for a little bit. Now, there's some on there that haven't been there, but she will be well respected. They will listen to her as a coach. They won't be like, oh, she's a woman. She don't know nothing. They won't do that with her. They won't. So I agree.
I love that pick.
I hope when I say retire, I mean as the head coach. Pop's always going to be around this organization. Always. Yeah. Hey, a funny video I seen. So I saw it was a TikTok video. It randomly popped up, and I was like, someone's like, Tim Duncan's in the crowd. A lot of people will do anything to get anybody to watch their TikToks nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I crap you not. This was at a high school gym. It looked like it was in the middle of nowhere. Monty Williams is the head coach. I'd have to do some research. Mm-hmm. And if you look up in the stands, you see Tim Duncan just sitting there. Don't know why he's there. I don't know what his ties were, but he is sitting up in the stands watching this game. And I don't know where it's at. I don't know what his ties is. I don't know if it's in San Antonio. I don't know where it's at.
Monty Williams has taken over the head coaching position at TMI Episcopal, where his 2 sons in San Antonio high school play.
Okay, so it makes sense. It's in San Antonio. But see, Monty Williams has ties to San Antonio too.
Monty Williams would be not a bad choice.
That's another one.
But I think, hey, if y'all are listening to this, San Antonio Spurs, you're listening to a possible new fan coming on, and you're listening to a diehard for 23 years. We know what we're talking about. I know the organization like yesterday. Hire Becky. Becky. Break the barrier. Get you a ring. Because if y'all do that, guess what? All these other organizations are going to do it. And Becky Ham's already kicked her tail in the WNBA. Now she's going to do it in the NBA. So it's a win-win.
That'll be a first, right?
Yeah.
Whether men or women, how many do you know of any man that's ever coached in the WNBA that's come and done anything in the NBA? I don't know because I don't know any WNBA coaches like that. I just know Becky Hammon.
Let's see.
But could you imagine winning 2 WNBA championships and then coming and winning one in the NBA? That would be a first and probably only to ever happen. As a woman, now, I think as a man it's doable. But if a woman that wins multiple WNBA championships, leaves and goes to an organization that would literally welcome her with open arms, comes in and just
let me tell you something. I just thought of somebody. They won't do it as a head coach. Hurley from UConn.
That was another one that brought up.
He didn't make the jump to
the
Los Angeles because he thought he was going to three-peat. I don't even know if they're going to make the tournament now. They're struggling real bad.
Yes, they are.
Man, that would be solid as well. But I would take Becky Hammon first. I'm making that phone call today.
If Becky Hammon just says, not now, whatever reason, I don't see that happening because it's Becky Hammon. And because people thought Pop was going to retire years ago, and she was like the lined-up guy.
Mm-hmm.
Pop told her to go take that Las Vegas job. He was like all for it. I think
because he knew he wasn't done.
No, I think in his mind he's still not done, but I think it's gonna be his health and his heart that's gonna outweigh that I'm not done. He's not gonna be done. He's
got to be done. Like he has to be.
Yeah, I agree. And Dan Hurley coming here, he has that military background too.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like if there's anyone that's identical to a Pop-ish player, that's probably the closest you could get now.
Oh, did we lose you? Oh, I think I lost Dustin. Oh, man, that sucks. Well, I guess we'll just kind of keep on going. Hopefully he get his little internet fixed and pop back in. Yeah, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Glad y'all could join. I think Dustin his internet just messed up on him, but man, we're just talking. We just got done talking Spurs, Pop, everything like that. I guess we can just go right into some college. Let me pull this up. Dustin had Aggies dropped another one. I mean that's we're hey alcoholics. We're still waiting to talk to you guys. I know you know what I'm talking about. I'll just leave it at that. But Aggies. I don't know, man. We're struggling. But we can't seem to pull. We lose 2 in a row, then we win, then we lose to teams we shouldn't be losing to. Yeah, I know you see. Hey, I will tell you this. Caleb Johnson, I'm loving for the Cowboys. I think if he can fall to the second round for the Cowboys, I'm loving it. I saw a list of Genty's teams that have been talking to him, and Cowboys aren't there. So I'm thinking the Cowboys might try to hold off, maybe get Lyman first round, and then go to running back second round. I don't know if Johnson's there or not. Be awesome if he was. Just saying. But so Aggies lose another one tonight to Vanderbilt. Lose by 2. I don't know. We beat teams we shouldn't beat. We lose to teams we should beat. They thinking he's gonna run a 4.40. I mean, I ain't mad at it. 6'1", 225, 4.40. Pretty good. Let's see what else we got here. Where are we at? St. John's up over Butler at 6.5. St. John's might be my sleeper to win it all. Oh, there you are.
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
What happened?
I don't know. Good question.
It
kept saying my browser was like running weird, and then now I'm back. So I don't know. Good, very good question.
So we were. I was just talking to the Hawkaholics, and I told them how much I liked Caleb Johnson, their running back.
Yes,
and he just said they're thinking he's going to run a 4.40 at 6'1", 225. And I told them, I saw a list of teams that are talking to Ashton Genty.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who is not on that list? The Dallas Cowboys.
Well, of course they're not.
So that makes me think they are going to go O-line first round. And I'm thinking that we're going to get Johnson in the second round if he falls to us. And I would have the more that I watch it, if you haven't watched a whole lot of tape on it, I was unfamiliar with just how good. I saw a couple Iowa games. Okay, I was unfamiliar with how good this kid was. Then the Hawkaholics started following us, and I was like, let me dive into some Iowa sports. He's unbelievable. He is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's great, man. He's great. Yeah. He is the he's arguably the when it comes to the draft, man, it's about the needs. Like him and Genty, you can't compare them. They're two different players. I mean, respectfully.
Yeah.
So where does Genty play? Where's the best fit for him? Where's the best fit for Johnson? Where's the best fit from Hampton? Where's the best fit for Junkins? It's the fit. Like all those guys are great running backs, right? Johnson would be great in Dallas. He'd be a great contributor. He would be the starting running back.
Absolutely.
As a rookie.
As a rookie.
We don't have a running back really. So with that, Hawkaholics, it's been a little bit, man. I hope y'all are doing all right, man. But yeah, it's
Johnson fits Dallas. Yes, he does. What's up, Terry? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Terry. How are you, man? Yeah, I like that. I like that. Right away, some NFL stuff. I know you've been seeing some stuff with Stafford. Did you see that Jason Peters finally retired?
Jason Peters finally retired. Do you know where he's from?
I wonder what he's going to do now.
Do you know where Jason Peters is from?
Oh, where's he from?
He is from Queen City, Texas.
What? How the heck did he come out of there?
So my sophomore or freshman year of high school, we played Queen City in the playoffs, and he was on that team. And let me tell you something, son. He was the running back for that team, and he had like the big shoulder pads and the collar that went on the back. I mean, he was a monster. Okay, I remember it like it was yesterday. So our middle linebacker ended up going to the University of Houston and started 4 years for him. Okay, they threw an interception to him, and he caught it. I think we lost Dustin again. Oh, there you are.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
And he caught it. Peters literally picked him up and like pile drove him straight into the ground. And I was like, holy, this was like first quarter. And I was like, Coach, I'm not feeling too well tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. Old back stiffening up on me a little bit. But yeah, he was unbelievable. But back onto the Stafford stuff. Did y'all I sent a post to the group. The Raiders are looking at Stafford.
I know, that's insane. It's so surprising to me for whatever reason.
I hate the Diamondbacks. Looking good in front of that map. Hey, I don't know if you've watched the show the whole time yet, but that Mavericks thing's supposed to be out of here. Look at my Mavericks background. Check my new Mavericks background out.
Yeah, Derek has a new Mavericks background. It's pretty.
That's my Mavericks background right there because their organization is a dumpster fire, and it's so bad. The more stuff comes out, I know I'm regressing here, but the more the stuff comes out on it, it's just so bad and very fitting. It is very fitting, Terry. Like you have no idea. I mean, at first it was because Luka was fat, they traded him. Now it's because he drinks beer and he smokes a hookah. And now you can't wear your jerseys there. And now they took away his like little shrine for his all-time points in a game. He had his jersey that he wore. They took that down. Everything. Like they've erased him from the history of the Dallas Mavericks, and it's a mind-boggling. And again, I told Dustin earlier, if I keep going, by the end of this show, I'm going to be a Spurs fan. Okay, I'm going to end up being a Spurs fan. Oh man, yeah, Terry, we appreciate you tuning in, brother.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're both from Texas. Yeah,
we're both from Texas. But if you'll go back and watch some of our stuff, we are non-biased Texas people because we'll tell you straight up that the Cowboys are trash. They are horrible. Yep. We love them, and we're going to watch them every Sunday. But they are hot garbage, as you see right there. That's the Cowboys organization as well. Join the Thunder. All are welcome. I'm going to be honest. I love the Thunder. I love what they've got. But I'm a Texas guy. Like, I'm always going to root a Texas team. Like, even in NCAA, my team that I start with is North Texas. I only recruit Texas kids, and I just work my way up to A&M. Like, I don't ever go outside of that realm. I'm straight Texas. That's just who I am. I mean, matter of fact, boom, got the shirt on, baby. Straight Texas. Just move back. Oh, what part of Texas are you in, Terry?
I think you said San Angelo.
Oh, there is San Angelo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Laker. Okay. Yeah, we're in East Texas.
La Bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lakers are. I mean, not Lakers. The Mavericks are terrible. I mean, they're not looking very good. They'll be in Las Vegas. I say in 5 years or less, unless they get their casino. We talked about that earlier. I mean, it's terrible. But so let's talk about this Matthew Stafford stuff. I mean, they're saying Oakland. I'm not sure what obviously the ties there have got to be something to do with Tom Brady, but oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's right. That's the one I tuned in late, and I just missed him. I think I do remember that show. I don't know. Is Stafford a $50 million quarterback?
No, not no more. I mean, he's good, but he's not $50 million.
Is he better than Dak?
Why do you do that?
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, if he's better than Dak, then he's a $50 million quarterback, and he's $15 million cheaper. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to propose this. I'm going to throw it out there. let's do a 3-team trade. Let's send Dak to Vegas. Let's send Stafford to the Cowboys. We'll send a second-round pick with Dak, and the Vegas can send their first-round pick to the Rams.
Hey, we like the Dallas Stars. That's my favorite NHL team. I mean, I don't know a lot about the team, but I like the Dallas Stars. I don't have a problem with them.
Here you go, Terry. Here you go, Terry.
I think we had
Dak's contract is way too much. That's what his contract is. I think it's $65 million or 60 or 65 million for the next 2 or 3 years. With a no trade clause, but he can waive it because he was gonna. The reports were he wanted to sign with Las Vegas if Dallas didn't match because he wanted to be there with Brady, but Dallas ended up signing him, and so man, I want to tell you in the right position, Matthew Stafford is a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. And I think Dallas could be that position for him. I really do. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to get that much of a drop off personally between Dak and Stafford. The only thing is, how much longer would you have Stafford? Right? If you're all in for 1 year, if you're willing to rental Stafford, because he will be a rental, only because you don't know how much longer you're really going to have Stafford. Is he 1 year, 2 years? When I say this, I'm not saying Dak's going to be better. What I'm saying is Dak would be here more long term, and you have a quarterback that I'm going to say can, I'm not saying will, can be here and help contribute to wins if he plays good enough. But I'm just saying Matthew Stafford would not be a downgrade. It's a rental.
I think the only way Dak helps us or does anything for Dallas is you have to get a running game. If you don't have a running game, Dak is useless to you. Yeah, he's gonna eventually put up. I mean, look what he did with was it Baltimore when they were up by 70, and he moved like the next 3 series they went straight down the field and scored because he's just throwing the ball. Like he doesn't. But to manage a game and to work down the field, he has to have a running game. If not, he's worthless. I did just see. Matter of fact, it literally just popped up on my phone. And this kind of changes everything on my end as far as with Stafford and Dak. Jair Alexander, the cornerback for the Packers, the all-pro cornerback that they have, they gave him permission to talk to teams. I don't know if I wouldn't build a package to go get him with our first-round pick. Help the defense.
Yes.
Keep your second. You got to get a running back. You have to. Period. I don't care if it's Junkin in the second. I don't care if it's Ollie Gordon in the 7th. You have to get a running back. But the defense needs help as well. I mean, it's not just all offensive problems that Dallas has. But I also saw that right along with the Dallas thing, that the coaches have came out and said they have got to get a quarterback in this draft.
I agree with that.
To be Dak's backup. And there's one quarterback that I want, and I want him bad. Do you know who that is? I guess he doesn't because he dipped out on me again. I want Kyle McCord out of Syracuse. I think he send Dak to the Saints for the top pick. The Saints already came out. I seen that a while ago. Yeah, they say that he's going to get Genty, but I also saw where Dallas wasn't even talking to Genty at the combine. It's all the other. I think it's Chicago, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Pittsburgh, the Chargers. I forgot there's like 6 teams that were going to talk to him, and Dallas wasn't one of them. But as far as that going to the Saints came out and said that Carr was their man. So I don't know kind of how that would go. But as far as the backup, I would love to have Cal McCord. Dude, he played amazing this year. I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, he had the best quarterback stats in the country. Just across the board was better than everybody else across the board. So we'll just kind of have to see where we're at on that. The draft is next month. What is this? March? It's going to be March, April, back end of April, which is cool because we're going to do a draft show and a draft network show, and everybody's going to. Yes, Dallas has a higher pick than all them, but I I honestly don't think Dallas is going to do it. I think Dallas is going to take an offensive lineman to protect Dak and then get a, because this is a deep running back class. I mean, you've got Genty, you've got Johnson, you've got Henderson from Ohio State, you got Junkins, you got Ollie Gordon. You can throw Scadaboo in there. I don't know how he's going to translate to the NFL. He's almost like a fullback to me, not really a running back. I don't see him as a running back in the NFL. I think he would be a perfect fit for the Chargers just because they like to run the ball downhill a lot. But that's just my opinion. But we're back to the draft. We're going to do a draft network show just for the first round. We're each going to do our own little mock draft for, let's see, we've got 2 Philly guys, so they'll do Philly drafts, and then we've got 4 Cowboys fans, and just kind of what we would like to see as if we were GM, and kind of do it in between during commercial breaks, stuff like that. Just something different, something fun. We're also going to do a March Madness show, preview show, and a bracket for that. So it's something I can kind of need a Bucks guy. You okay? Well, that's something we could talk about. Send us a message. I don't know where you're watching from. If you're watching from the sports page or one of our personal pages, but send us a message, and we can definitely talk to you about it. We're constantly trying to grow. I mean, we're trying to push our not only our name out there, but the brand and help other people grow with their stuff. There's certain people, I'm not going to name any names, that we've been trying to talk to, but they're kind of stubborn. So we're just going. We got a lot going on. We've got a lot coming up. From Dustin's page. Okay, yeah, man. Send Dustin a message or shoot, like I said, or go to the Tired Sports page, and you can message us there. Message me. It doesn't matter, man. Just shoot a message, and we'll love to talk to you about it. I'm trying to think what else we kind of had. I hate doing solo shows because like I'm kind of reaching for you guys for comments and stuff like that because I know we had stuff, but let's see what old NBA is talking about. A lot of stuff happened in the NBA the last couple of days. Pistons percent of carries resulting in 15 yards. Yeah, and that you're talking Big Ten versus Group of 5. I mean, now granted there are 11 guys and 11 guys. I'm not taking anything away from Genty. Genty had an amazing year. I personally thought Genty should have won the Heisman. A little bit because I think Travis Hunter is overrated. Where was that against UCLA? Knicks come back and win. Knicks were down 103 to 99 with 2 minutes left. They win 110-105. Your Thunder beat the Nets by 8, a little closer than I thought. The Hawks lose again, which helps the Spurs in their pick. That never. Rockets are beating the Spurs by 14 right now. Celtics lose to the Pistons by 20. The Pistons, let me tell you something about the Pistons. Where are my standings at right now? My standings. The Pistons are sitting in 6th place. They're probably my surprise team of the year. For the NBA. I know you got Memphis in the West at the 2nd seed. Houston also looks completely good, but Detroit has completely turned things around. I mean, they started off rough, and just kind of came out of nowhere. Same with Philly. I think they were like 2-12 at one point or something along those lines, and now I mean they're 20-38, which isn't great, but they've turned it around. Uh, nothing really has stood out in any other things. Less malice in the past. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I think they're finally gelling. Like I think they've got a good young core, with Cade and Jaden Durham. I think he got let go a little too early. I think they bailed on him just a hair too early. He needed a little bit more time in Golden State to kind of come to his own. The the Cavs are deep. That's kind of the. I hate the Pistons. That's my brother's team. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna be shocked if we have a Cavs Thunder final. I think they are so similar to each other. Big men that can shoot, great guard play, some 3-and-D pieces, some great pieces off the bench. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was an NBA final matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Nuggets. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Celtics. I wouldn't be surprised if it was any. Man, my nose. If it was any of those 4 teams, um, I would be surprised if Memphis made it. Um, I don't think they have enough firepower to make that jump. I think they're missing an elite scorer. I think that's why they were talking about um, going after Jimmy was to get that elite scorer. So I think they're missing that. Pick the Celtics and Thunder. Oh, absolutely. If the Thunder don't make it to the playoffs, I mean to the championship, I think they make a huge run at a absolute star player this offseason, and they're going to throw a bunch of picks and maybe Chet because he hadn't played a whole lot this year. Um, so no, we don't talk about the Lakers, Terry. We are not Laker fans on this show. I can't stand LeBron. Um, no, I'm just kidding. No, you can talk about the Lakers all you want. Um, yeah, like I said, all those picks, they're going to throw those picks at somebody to trade for somebody. I've heard Kevin Durant coming back. I think that would be the worst thing for that organization and for that team that they have built. Um, I think if it was Kevin Durant or nothing, I think they should go nothing. I think they should just keep what they have. Um, Brad Molly brought up the Celtics. Um, they do need something. I don't know, and it's weird to say that they need something when they literally got everything. You've got your big men, you've got your stretch 4. You got your 3-and-D guys, all that kind of stuff. You got everything you need. But if they don't get over the hump, I think that they're going to package a bunch of stuff together and try to go get a superstar. But I just don't know who would kind of round that team out. If Denver doesn't make it, I think they could possibly blow it up. Not blow it up, but they need a veteran, but I don't know what route they would go for that veteran. What are you thinking? Because you've got, oh man, I'm trying to think, like a Marcus Smart off the bench wouldn't be bad. Let me ask you this. I'm going to throw you one out there for you, Hawkaholic. Let me pull this roster up real quick. Nope, not what I want. I'm gonna I'm gonna throw something at you, Hawkaholics. I want you to tell me if you would do this or not. Chet Holmgren, Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, and 5 first-round picks for. Hang on. So let's see: Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, 5 first-round picks for Jaylen Brown, 28-year-old Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, great defensive stopper, can score when needed. Are you pulling that trigger? Because I am. I'm pulling it for both. I mean, I think you with the 2 guards you get. So not Dort. So you're high on Lou Dort. Because the reason I threw him in there, I think that Dort and Brown are pretty much the same player. I think Brown's a little bit better scorer, but defensively, I think you are right there the same. You still got Caruso on the bench. You still got Williams, that can play your 3. If I'm giving Dort, I'm only doing 3 first. Okay, so you would do that for 3 first. And I think that puts them over the top. I really do. I think because I think Boston, if Boston doesn't win it, I honestly believe they're going to have to make a decision on who. I'm not going to say face of the franchise, but they're going to have to make a decision on who their guy is. Is it Brown or is it Tatum? And I think, well, it's hard to say anymore because with the Luka trade, you don't know. Nobody's safe, obviously. Or let me ask, would you rather have Tatum or would you rather have Brown? That would be. Yeah, y'all could give every team in the NBA could get a first round pick from y'all. Yeah, I would rather have Brown too. I think Jason Tatum is slightly overrated. I really think he's just a hair overrated. Um, because of how well he's played so early in his career. Um, and it's been consistent. I mean, he hasn't really had a bunch of ups and downs, but Yes, y'all are built on defense. I 100% agree with that. Like I said, I would rather have Brown as well. But let's see, what's Tatum averaging right now? 26 a game. So he's only averaging 4 more points a game. So it's not like it ain't like you're losing a whole lot or gaining a whole lot. Um, I don't really see. I don't really see anybody else that I think would be. I mean, you could look at like, well, that's not. I would say like a Miles Bridges, but he's coming off of What about Giddy from OKC or Fox in a second minute? So Fox got traded 2 weeks ago at the trade deadline to San Antonio. So he's gone, and Giddy is in Chicago, right? Hey, I agree. That's what a lot of teams struggle with is they get all these guys, SGA and Tatum, who are um, high volume guys. Like they need to shoot, they need to be involved in the offense. Instead, you need to have pieces. You need to have pieces. Like SGA is your scorer. Okay, Lou Dart can get you 10 or 15. Chet can get you 10 or 15. Um, you've got all these pieces. You need a scorer, and then you need pieces. If you get another alpha scores, that's right, and that's what they are. That they're high volume guys that have to shoot the ball, that have to have the ball in their hands. That's why I think it's a big reason like Kyrie and Luka didn't work because they are both. Are we talking about the Mavs acquiring? No, no. I'm done with the Mavericks. Like I said, I'm borderline off the Mavericks forever. That organization is just it's burnt me. Um, but uh, the Mavs are 6-1 now, 6-2 since the trade because everybody moved back to original position. Kyrie went to the 1, Clay went to the 2, Washington went to the 3. So it all worked out. The big men are hurt right now. That's the only thing that's really hurting them. But when you have a ball dominant point guard in Kyrie who's playing the 2 now because Luka's the 1, and you're trying to share that love, it's almost impossible to make sure everybody gets it. We're talking about Oklahoma City getting Brown um, at, for as far as their veteran player. Um, if they don't win the West this year, that is maybe something that they're missing. Or let me see. Let's see this. Let's see what free agents. 2025. Maybe Dustin's back. No, I don't really see anybody that I think could fit Kelly Oubre. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. Clint Capella. Cam Thompson wouldn't be just horrible. Would you bring Westbrook back as like a sixth man? You could go get Al Horford if he doesn't retire. Jonathan Kaminga would be would Halliburton from Indiana. I mean, he's not bad. I've got it, Hawkaholics. I've got it. You need to go get if you trade for Brown, you have a hole at your big man. Go get Miles Turner as your 5. Have a semi big 3 of Shea, Brown, and Miles Turner with Caruso coming off the bench. I mean, you could just build something around that, and I think y'all would be great. But I don't see y'all not coming out of the West. I think the West is. I think the winner comes out of the West this year. Denver or Oklahoma City. I think that's the only two really. I don't know if you could beat. I don't know if you could beat Denver in a 7-game series other than Oklahoma City. I don't see anybody else that can match up with them. Ooh, you would take Lillard. So okay, but to me, Dame is one of those guys that I was just talking about. I don't think him and Shea work good together because Dame has to have his shots. As long as Oklahoma City avoids Iowa Hawkeye players. Hey, that the Luke, I can't think of his last name, but he was a 2-time player of the year. Yeah, I don't know if Dame fits. I don't know if Dame fits there because you either he was at Iowa. Because you either have to move Shea to the 2 or Dame to the 2, um, or Dame to the 6th man. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how that would work. That would be, ooh, I don't know. That would be a good pickup as long as you don't have to give away a lot. But again, what do you do? Oh, let me see some more. Any more news we can kind of hit on before we close this thing? Spurs down by 14. Just get Lonzo Ball and his 2 brothers. Yeah, right. Oh, just on a little baseball, I guess. We can hit a couple baseball. Rangers finally get a win today. They're not the laughing stock anymore. They're 2-4. Women's basketball. TCU in women's basketball is unreal. They're playing outside of their mind. 10th in the nation. Haley Van Lith is so good. She is so good. I'm ready to do the women's bracket. Iowa playing Texas tomorrow. Almost went. Oh man, that. Do you know what time? Bryson Walker starting on the mound. There you go. He's coming back home. 3, I believe. I might check that one out. But well, I guess I think that's all we're going to talk about tonight. We kind of got off track with Dustin popping in and out. The internet's still messing up on him. Hopefully he can kind of get that fixed. Trae Young didn't get Giannis. But man, we appreciate everybody stopping by and talking with us. Hawkaholics, Terry, like I said, hit us up. Hawkaholics, y'all have our emails, y'all have our Facebook pages. Reach out. We still love to talk to you guys. I know y'all got a lot going on. I know y'all are invested in something right now, but still love to talk to you guys. Thank y'all for stopping by, and we will see y'all again on Sunday night. We'll have another show Sunday night, and keep following us on everything. I mean, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Music, everything. So just follow us and hit us up. And again, we appreciate everybody stopping by.